Welcome to today's program. We have in studio with us Tom Parker, is the superintendent of schools at Comanche. Now, once a month we get Gary DeLacy to come in, the superintendent of schools here in Clinton. Do you do much communication with Gary and some of the other superintendents in the area, Tom?
Oh, absolutely. We try to maintain a superintendent network and really discuss pertinent topics of the day. And certainly Gary, being a next-door neighbor, really is a person that is easy to reach out to and have conversations with. And obviously, Gary and I had an opportunity to work together down in Camanche for a number of years.
That's right. He got his kind of administrative start in Comanche.
He did. He started as the middle school principal in Comanche and then moved to the high school. And then, as they say, things go on, and ended up being the superintendent in Clinton eventually.
Before we get into some of the talking points you pointed out to me, and it looked like some interesting things we're going to talk about, how'd you get started in education? And you were telling me 22 years as the superintendent.
Right. Well, I always was interested in being an educator and a coach, and that's how my career started. I started in a little parochial school, Bancroft St. John, who is pretty well known for baseball. And one of the main professional influences I met at the time was Coach Vince Meyer, and who was the legendary baseball coach there, and who at the time was like 66, 67 years old. I was 22 years old, and he basically took me under his wing, and a lot of his lessons taught to me back then, I think, are still applicable today. But eventually, of course, I became involved in administration. And as you said, I've been a superintendent at Comanche now for 22 years.
And you were telling me it's only been you and Larry Dennis who have been the superintendents at Comanche.
Yeah, so, well, for the past 50-some years.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's kind of a rarity. Larry was superintendent for over 30 years, and now I've been superintendent for over 20 years. So between us two, Comanche has only had two superintendents for 50 years. And we kind of joke with Larry a little bit that I've been doing this for 20 years, and between the two of us, I'm still kind of the short timer.
Now, you are a Comanche native, so what is it like to be superintendent in your hometown?
I think it's really been a positive experience. I remember when we moved back up to Comanche, I was down at Pleasant Valley, and quite honestly, there were very few places I would have left Pleasant Valley to go to. Comanche was one. Moved our family up to Comanche, and we've been very pleased with a number of things as far as coming back to Comanche, whether it be the opportunity to raise our children in our hometown. My wife Lisa is a Comanche girl also. So it was fun for us to come back, renew acquaintances with a lot of folks we have known through the years. And, you know, one of the things I've noticed professionally, being raised in Comanche and knowing a lot of Comanche folks, I have an opportunity on my walks and such. I like to go down, walk by the river and such, and I'm getting involved in a lot of conversations with folks, which I enjoy. As a matter of fact, sometimes if my walk takes too long, I think Lisa is getting ready to send a search party out, but it's generally just me out talking with folks and enjoying my walk.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So you left Pleasant Valley, and now, boom, Pleasant Valley has just taken off.
Yes, it really has. We go down there occasionally now, and just to see the housing that's popped up and the changes that have happened, it is amazing.
Yeah, again, visiting with Tom Parker. So, Facilities Enhancement Project, update us on that.
Yeah, so as most are aware, we passed a $13.4 million bond referendum, and what we've done is divided our project into three phases. Phases 1 and 2 are now complete, and basically what they did was enhance the security and entrances at our elementary school and high school. We had already addressed that at the middle school several years ago, so now we wanted to bring our elementary and high school entrances up to standard. So that was phase 1 and a priority. Phase 2 was basically a lot of the prep work, getting ready to finish up some of the major enhancements we're going to see. And now we're into phase 3, which basically what you're going to see is the size of our theater greatly enhanced. Right now, we had 271 seats in our theater. When this is done, we'll have close to 600 seats, and we'll have a lot more room with the stage and just that general auditorium. The other thing will be it'll just provide more stage room, I guess, for a bigger stage for our performers and increase those possibilities, and also some prep areas for them as far as changing costumes and that sort of thing. So we're really excited about that. We're also hoping to hold more events in the theater. With 600 seats, we can accommodate many more events, whether they be concerts and those sorts of things. Another component that people are probably really noticing is we'll be adding an auxiliary gym and wellness area. And you'll notice that going on in the parking lot between the football field and our current buildings. We know it's a little inconvenient right now as far as parking and traffic flow, but we're going to be very pleased with the end result when we see the wellness area, the auxiliary gymnasium, and we're also converting the swimming pool now into a new wrestling room and also a new choir room. So a lot of great things happening down there that we're really looking forward to seeing completed.
What's the timeline on some of this stuff, Tom?
Well, things got pushed back a little bit, as is true with most construction projects. What we're hearing is some of the main components we need, such as the walls and such, concrete walls, will be arriving in February. So we're really hoping a year from now, we're really at a point where we're able to put the finishing touches on this.
You know, I'm more involved with athletics when I come down to Comanche. I enjoy sitting up in the crow's nest watching the basketball. But I know theater is a big part, academics certainly a big part. Talk about how those two areas are really going to benefit.
Well, I think anything we can do to enhance the total experience for our students is definitely a positive thing. I'm very fond of saying that probably the best program we have to get students involved in their school would be our co-curricular program. So athletics are certainly part of that, but so would also be music, so would also be speech and drama. And we're very proud of the fact that we get, by spring, close to 90% of our high school kids involved in some activity, which is wonderful. We want our children to be well-rounded individuals, and certainly by the time they graduate to have experienced a lot of different things. So I really believe our students can find whatever their niche is and have an opportunity to participate and go through those great experiences.
You talked earlier about taking your walk and visiting with people. I would imagine it's primarily adults at that time. Do you get into the various buildings and try and, communicate with the kids?
I do try to get into the buildings and have an opportunity to talk with the students. One thing I've found is just having the opportunity to interact with students really helps me as far as for lack of a better term, you're as old as you feel, and nothing can make you feel younger than to get in there and have an opportunity to talk with students, whether they be high school age or if you really want to get down to interesting conversations at the elementary school.
I can imagine. So now you had 3 daughters that went through the Comanche school system, or 4 daughters.
4 daughters.
That's right, there was 4. What was it like when they were going to school? Was it a little easier? I would imagine you knew their friends.
Oh, definitely. As far as putting names and faces together would be a lot easier, because on a day-to-day basis, you were having an opportunity to interact with those students and friends of my daughters. So definitely that did help.
All right, visiting with Tom Parker, a lot more to talk about, but let's take a break for the weather, brought to you by Dan Dolan.
Shower and thunderstorm quickly coming to an end for us this morning. That'll give us partly cloudy skies for the afternoon and highs up to 85. For tonight, mostly clear. We'll be down to 62. And for Friday, very pleasant end of the week, partly cloudy and highs near 82.
Right now, we are looking at overcast skies, 70 degrees. Our update brought to you by Dan Dolan.
A Dan Dolan home is the perfect place to relax and enjoy your retirement years. Our age-in-place design and reverse mortgage opportunities provide convenience, accessibility, and sustainable retirement living. Our homes are energy efficient with snow and lawn care services provided. See for yourself what Dan Dolan Homes has to offer at our Meet the Builder open house on Wednesdays from 11 to 1. For quality, reliability, and value, Dan Dolan Homes is the place to go.
We're back now with Tom Parker. Tom, let's talk a little bit about the Career and Technical Education Center partnership.
Yeah, we're very excited about that. As a lot of people in the area are aware, Clinton Community College is in the process of building a Career and Technical Education Center. And I really think this is the result of a number of local school districts working together with the community college to make this possible. As many of us are aware, as students go through school, not necessarily everyone is going to be looking for a 4-year college degree, but everyone is going to be looking for some type of career. And now having a Career and Technical Education Center available for our local students is going to be very important for those students who are looking for some kind of certification or some kind of skill set that will allow them to pursue a career they're interested in.
I know I'm more familiar with Clinton. When I went to school there was the shops building, and of course you see the homes that they have built. What kind of opportunities are there in Comanche?
Well, a lot of what we have right now are the types of courses that help develop the fundamental skills. But by pooling the resources of several school districts in the community college, we're really looking at developing the type of programming for a student in Comanche and a student pretty much in our area that will prepare them to basically leave the school door and step right into some business or industry door ready to go.
How did this all kind of come about? I mean, is it primarily Clinton County since it's Clinton Community College?
Well, Clinton Community College and the local school districts I'm probably most familiar with, but obviously Clinton Community College is part of a larger network of Eastern Iowa colleges. And it took a cooperative effort of a number of school districts in our region, along with the community college, to make this a possibility. And we really appreciate the fact that people came together for this and are supportive of this. Because once again, that by pooling our resources, it only allows us to enhance the type of programming we really can make possible for our students.
And there's no doubt people are needed in the workforce right now.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing we have found also, though, is not only just showing up for work, but bringing some skills to a given position certainly makes a person much more marketable.
Again, visiting with Tom Parker of Camanche. Third day of the school year. What's it like getting the school year started?
Always exciting. I really enjoy the first day of school. You just can't explain it unless you live through it. And now all of a sudden I was thinking back, I've lived through this for 44 years as far as an educator. And I can honestly say I'm still as excited for the first day of school today as I was 44 years ago.
So what do you do on the first day?
First day of school, we take a look at just making sure everything gets up and running efficiently. I really don't think people realize all the logistics that go into getting that first day of school going and then the school year going. You know, everything from transportation to food service to, of course, all the work the teachers have done to prepare for things, the organizing and scheduling administrators have done, and then you put in the support staff and their role. It truly is, when they talk about a whole community to support an education, it really is. It does require a lot of teamwork. I'm very fortunate that I've been blessed and surrounded with a number of people who are very, very talented at what they do and very good at what they do. So, you know, sometimes it's the world famous no news is good news when you get the school year started, and a lot of that's made possible by the hard work of a lot of people.
You, of course, are in the administration building. Talk a little bit about the people who work with you on a daily basis there, Tom.
Well, on a daily basis, we have a small but efficient staff. Of course, I work closely with our business director, Rox Audie, who handles the finances and makes sure the numbers all add up right for us. We have Taryn Dennerman and Linda Decker who support her in the business office. And again, a lot of the work that goes on, whether it's just handling billing, payments, payroll, all those types of things. And then, of course, I have my administrative assistant, Jessica Busa, who is on the front line answering phones, answering the door, all those sorts of things, and directing traffic, so to speak, as people come in to see me. Also, not to forget these folks. At the other end of the building, we have the transportation office. Marty Schnorr is our transportation director, and we have Rob Pulse and Bob Stenelson. And I better quit naming names. I'm going to forget somebody. But, you know, I truly appreciate the whole district staff. And they're, again, part of that team and a key part of keeping things rolling efficiently in the school district.
You know, something that came to my mind was when you were talking about putting everything together for that opening day and then the people who work. In a community like Comanche, the school system probably is the biggest employer.
Yes, we employ close to 200 persons, but a lot of people lose track of the fact that in the Comanche School District we have Lyondell-Basell, we have Kleisar, so we still have some significant industry and significant employers in our district, but definitely a number of folks in the community are involved in the school, either through employment or through their children or just being supporters of the school.
Well, you know, having those industries in your school district certainly helps financially, I would think.
Yeah, it's a rarity for a school district our size to have the industrial base we have.
Technology now in education. You know, when I was going to school, the most technical thing was a typewriter when I took typing class. It certainly has changed.
Well, it really has. You know, if someone were to ask me what's probably the biggest change I've seen over my career in education, it'd be the role of technology. And nothing caused that to be much more evident as when we ran into the situation we did with the pandemic, and we had to continue education for students not necessarily in the school setting. And having the ability to leverage technology to continue to provide education to students, in my mind, was huge. And certainly that has played a big role. We've learned a lot of lessons as far as how to use the technology for education even better during the pandemic. I guess if there was a silver lining from an educational perspective, it was that. And I believe some of the lessons learned can now be applied in classrooms today.
You bring that up. What was that time period like for you as the superintendent?
You could come up with a lot of adjectives, whether it be hectic, stressful, unsure of what the next day would bring. A lot of times as you prepare to be an administrator in education, they talk about contingency planning. And a lot of times we would get information the night before regarding what the next day of school was going to look like, and we had to be very ready and nimble to make that change quickly. And again, that gets back to something we talked about earlier. I was very fortunate to have a number of talented people surrounding me to help me make that possible. And we really appreciated the work and effort and cooperation of everyone from staff to parents to students that allowed us to do the best we could during that situation.
Of course, it was March of 2020, and Camanche was at the state basketball tournament when all this transpired. They had played the day before in front of Wells Fargo Arena crowd, and then the next day, very few people were allowed in the arena.
Yeah, that really illustrates just what I was saying with the contingency planning and things changing very quickly. But all in all, a lot of people that really deserve to be commended for allowing us to continue to provide education during the pandemic.
I want to thank you for coming in. We got about 5 more minutes. You got a couple of other things you wanted to talk about. Professional learning communities. What's that?
Oh, absolutely. It's an educational philosophy, not only in Comanche, but in a number of places. But here in Comanche, it really allows us to put the focus on learning. We're all learners. Obviously, students are the key learners, but even as educators, we're learning. The other key component of a professional learning community is collaboration, which is certainly a skill all of us can use as far as working together.
I have a daughter who is in education, and she is now an instructional coach. She's in her 22nd or 23rd year of teaching. You know, she's gone elementary, middle school, and now taking on this position. I know right now they are looking for educators. Talk about why you got into education and why people should consider it as a career.
I will tell you, it's a great career, and I'm not just saying that. People have asked me now, given my age, if I had it all over to do again, would I do it again? Absolutely. And as I really reflect on that, as I share with people, the best thing I could really focus on is I've had an opportunity to meet so many wonderful people, whether they be students, parents, colleagues, all of that. And I really don't believe I would have had the opportunity to meet as many wonderful people as I have if I had not been in education.
And finally, comprehensive school improvement.
Yes, absolutely. We're always looking to improve. And all school districts in Iowa have a comprehensive school improvement plan. Just to cut to the chase very quickly, I don't believe you just stay in one spot. Either you're improving or you're going the other way. And obviously, we're always working to improve learning opportunities for our students, improve instruction we're providing them, and just improving what we're doing as a school district.
Okay. Before we let you go, any closing comments, things we may have not touched upon that you would like to bring up here?
Well, I would just say in general, one of the things I always like to point out when people ask me, well, what's probably the best thing about Comanche schools? And the thing I like to point out is we're large enough to offer a comprehensive and rigorous curriculum, but yet small enough that every student's known by name. And that's a special combination. And we really appreciate the size of district we are.
All right. Well, I've got a niece who teaches down there and has for a number of years, Erin Dunham.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for coming in. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
I am going to be down at your place next Friday when you play host to Central DeWitt, so I'm looking forward to that.
Looking forward to it myself. Go Storm.
All right. Go Storm indeed. Thank you.